On the ground with 6 a.m.
What's good on life? Is this your girl 6 a.m.? We live and we up close with Manana. Manana, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So the show was amazing. How do you feel about the turnout? I mean, the audience received you so well. The music was indescribable. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling ecstatic. I do have to say that fans, the concept of fans, anyway, the people that were here, they always show up, and I do appreciate that. I felt loved. I felt appreciated, which is important. So yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Shout out to you. That was amazing. You seem to pay very close attention to detail, you know, from the homeliness that you've created here. And even when you're playing your songs, you know, you listen to the sounds, you know, you bump the instruments, you know. Can you tell us from your perspective, what do you think is the beauty in paying attention to detail and how it impacts the result?
I think when you take time, people, even though they might not know what they're resonating with, they know that something just feels right. So I'm grateful that we have a dope team that really does understand the value in detail. Obviously, I didn't set this up myself. You know, there are people that with me heard music and they were like, yo, this would really be dope. There are people who did the stage design, even the sound, you know, everyone is attentive. And that's what makes this, you know, work. Yeah.
Now, shifting away to the music that you've created so far, recently you appeared twice on Nasty C's new album, I Love It Here. On your Instagram, you called him a genius, you know. Can you tell us about your relationship with Nasty C and the creation process behind the two songs that you've created together?
Firstly, I have to say that before we even had the conversation to working together, going out to his writing camp, I genuinely was a fan of Nasty C and still am a fan of Nasty C. And I've always respected his artistry, but I have to just tell you one time, in studio with Nasty C is not a joke. Like, he's about it. Like, he genuinely isn't just like writing rhymes and raps and punchlines. The melodies he comes up with are like, you'll hear a lot of the melodies on the project. It's not like he had, you know, someone whispering in his ear. He genuinely like is attentive to melodies and, you know, how things feel. When I say he's a genius, I'm not joking. Like, I genuinely learned so much. I told Max and a lot of the producers that we were with in Cape Town that I learned so much. Honestly, I learned so much and picked up so much just from being at that writing camp for a week or so. Yeah.
And what have you learned?
Firstly, the feeling of a melody. So I wouldn't say I'm mathematical with writing, but I kind of will I'll craft and get to a melody and take time with it. Nasty C honestly will blurt something out and it's brilliant. And because it feels right, he's like, yeah, that's the one. As opposed to, you know, maybe being tentative, maybe being whatever. And he'll always say that he's a shy guy. But when something comes out, usually it's like fine wine, you know? And for me, I've learned to trust that instinct, you know? If something comes out and it feels good, then it is good.
And it's my first time listening to you live, and the first note you blurted out was like fine wine. So thank you for that. Another star that you've worked with is AKA on his platinum selling album. Can you tell us how that relationship was like and the creation process behind Crown?
Yeah, so I mean, with AKA, we had a mutual friend and collaborator, Zadok, also a great artist, who was literally like, yo man, I should introduce you to Keenan, you know, like he's serious about music, all that kind of stuff, right? And I actually bumped into him because we live like we lived in the same close, you know, to each other. And a few times, you know, you always threaten, and you know, the Joburg way, yeah man, we should link, yo man, you know, whatever, bro, I love your stuff, yeah, you know the vibe. And eventually, literally, I think it was the last week of finalizing songs, I made it through to his place, and all the writers and producers are all there. And he was like, listen, obviously they'd been working at it for a long time now. And I got there to be like, listen, if there's anything I can add, that'd be great. And as soon as I heard MT's verse, and as soon as I heard, I'm coming with the heat, I was like, oh snap! I think this ending section would really be dope with this. And he was like, yo, let's do it. And he literally was like, I want to record you. And that for me was special. Like, he genuinely in the space respected people. Bro, I mean, it's AKA, and he's done it all, obviously, you know, and we all, I don't want to make him sound old, but we grew up listening to a lot of his music and adoring the work that he put in. So to be in studio and for him to respect me, and want to record me himself because he was serious with it, you know, directing me, yeah, that really was special.
That's amazing. That's really special. In terms of your sound, right? I want to know about your ability to pen such versatile lyrics. You know, from you've worked on Better Than This with Nasty C and Teleman, and that sounded more EDM for me. And then you've worked on an Amapiano single with Uncle Waffles, and then you've worked also on Zadok's song, Wonder with Shekinah. And can you tell us about your versatility, your ability to be so effortlessly versatile?
Listen, I thank you, firstly. But yeah, like all these artists that you've named, genuinely, like I respect so much. Like, they're artists that I look at and look up to. So when I get the call or the DM or the message, I fight in the room. I fight. I try and make it work. Even with the, like you're saying with Zadok's song Wonder, he'd been speaking to me for a few weeks to be like, yo, bro, there's a song that I think you'd really have a dope hook on, and Shake is keen to work on it. I was like, yo, you know, like I'm super keen. And as soon as I got into the space, I'm fighting, you know, to make sure that I give it my best. And yeah, and then on top of that, I think to be prepared for being versatile, you need to listen to music. You need to listen. I always tell this to writers. If you don't listen to different music, there's no way you will contribute healthily in different creative spaces. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do. I make sure that genuinely I set time aside daily to listen to different side, whether it's singer-songwriter, R&B, hip-hop, amapiano, Tinari Waren from Ethiopia or Mali or Sudan, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to listen to music in order to contribute to the diaspora.
So fighting to be the best and listening to music. That's the key. And one last question. Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming project? What can people expect? I know you're excited about the features, so the little bit that you can give me, please let me know.
Yes. So, more music, for sure, obviously. The album is going to be an ending to the trilogy that we've been releasing so far. I don't know if people know this, but the first project was called In the Beginning Was the End, second one called But Could the Moments in Between, and the last one is going to end that little poem with words that I can't expose right now. But yeah, we've got some features that I'm currently waiting on. I'm excited about them. I can't reveal just yet, just because it hasn't happened yet. But once those are, you know, in, yeah, we'll have release. People will be sad to hear this, but beginning of next year is the target. Yeah.
On the ground with 6 a.m.